prove me wrong again. I mean, I'll tell you that was probably the most exciting finish. I'm talking to the finish because Ashton Hedges, near that last name, Ashton Hedges found something. He found something, and the traction, and they were watching. Now, his car would come alive in the corners. I don't think he had the straightaway speed that Dave Steele had.
But he got the grip.
But he was better all the way around, in a sense, because he got through the corners better. And Steele had a lead. Steele had a pretty good lead for most of that race. Then things started getting tight towards the end. And Ashton Hedges says, I got a shot at this. I'm reeling him in. And he was really reeling him in through turns 1 and 2. That's where that 54D car started coming alive. And I thought, man, every time he gets him on the entry, just 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths, lap after lap. We got to the closing laps, I'm thinking, this is going to be a good finish. He got door-to-door with him for the last, and you'll see the finish. It's coming up, and we're going to post it on that video tonight, but you'll see the finish. He caught Steele on the last lap, and he knew this is going to be my only shot. The white flag just came out. If I'm going to make something happen, it has to be right now. And he ran him as hard as you can run somebody clean down the back straightaway into turn 3. And when they came out of turn 4, that 54 car on the bottom, and I truly think it was because he was so smooth, but he found something on the bottom and he had the shorter way around with enough traction. And it was, I don't even know if it was it a full car length of the line, Ed?
No.
I don't think it was a full car length of the line.
I think I'm going to have to start parking the drone right over the top of the flag.
That would be great.
So
we'll have to get a camera mounted there.
Yeah, put a camera up there so we got some photo finishes, because last week we had one of those.
Right.
It was so close that I couldn't tell who won.
Yeah.
And I'm right above the flag stand up there.
Right.
But I was guessing.
So we had that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And this finish with Ashton Hedges, and Dave Steele was, I mean, the fans, everybody stood up. It was that close. Everybody stood up and they were cheering. I'm looking at Sandy, and Sandy's like, 54, 54. I was like, man, what a finish. He led probably the last 20 yards. I mean, it wasn't he didn't lead very long.
It was neck and neck coming out of one.
It was. I mean, when they come out on that main straightaway, you could see the whole crowd just, everybody stood up like, who's this in it? That's the stuff I love. That's when I start talking faster than these guys drive. Phenomenal finish. I learned in Victory Lane, this is this young man's first win in this division. Here's what I thought was cool about this whole deal. He pulls up as the winner. Dave Steele pulled up as well in the 67, the guy that finished second. Steele knew. He got the word through RaceSaver that he finished second. He pulls up, and in his interview, we talked to them, congratulated Ashton and said, I've been helping those guys out, and this is what we do in his class. This is what we do here. We're a big family. We race together. We play together. We have a good time. And I looked at him and I said, so tell me, how much longer are you going to help that kid out now that he's beating you, right? He was laughing and joking. I mean, just had a great time. And to see that was, that's an awesome thing to see.
Well, it's good for him, and it's satisfaction for him to see what he's been helping and to watch him improve, and to know that, hey, I helped that kid get where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know how old Ashton Hedges is.
Yeah.
He's not very old. I mean, this kid he's got to be in high school still. I'm assuming he's got a baby face, but he can drive, and for Dave Steele to help him out and get him, help him out to beat him, that's pretty cool camaraderie.
Well, that says something.
Yeah,
right
it
there.
does. It does. I'm reading some stuff from Don Martin on the chat line. Oh, Chris Mix, the 89W. He's congratulating them on the birth of their second baby boy on Friday.
Wow,
congrats.
Bowen Fisher Mix. Dave Steele gave his trophy from the dash. I remember that.
I remember
to
that.
the baby.
Yeah,
Yep,
to the
newborn baby. Yep. And Chris Mix is the 2017 mini stock champion, and he was, I think he finished third in the 89. They were so close. I mean, the whole race was, like I said, for 5 cars to start that race, man, it was entertaining.
And 5 cars finished.
Yes. And the finish
Was
I mean, Sandy will tell you, I had to look to Sandy. I didn't know. I mean, it was kind of like, because I was moving, and the way that the flag stand is set up there, it's tight. My line of vision to the site, to the line. I looked at her, and she says 54. I was like, what a finish. It was good. That was a great race. I was glad. I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to call a young guy's first win like that.
These races that we had the other night, Dave and I are up on the tower doing the filming, and between both of us up there, the racing was so good, spread out with so many cars, that every once in a while we'd go, who in the heck is in the lead? We need to throw a caution so we can figure out who's in the lead, and it's tough sometimes, especially when they start catching lapping cars, and you're going, okay, I know I'm supposed to be focusing on this car, but where is he?
We'll have to get you guys on the receiver system so you can listen in on that.
Well, I already got 2 ears full.
I know, and he's wearing more radios than. Yeah, he's looking like.
But we had 2 radio systems this week, and that was pretty nice because Dave's on a headset with me, and Sandy's got a transmitter or a radio in the tower. So it's Sandy, Gary, and myself. And then on the other hand, I had another set of radios to where we had Sandy, Dave, Nina, and myself. 4 more in my left ear.
Yep.
I knew what everything was happening and where it was at and what's going on and who's doing who and all this kind of stuff, But, listening, that's multitasking, or multitasking. Let me get straight, get back to that Alabama slang. Excuse me, guys, but that just comes natural. I've been to 24 different countries, and I still speak Alabamian.
Alabamian. That's not even a word.
Yeah.
Well, now we just got to get you to grow a 3rd ear so you can go with a 3rd radio, I guess.
That's right. Give me a 3rd radio.
So we've talked Hornets. We've talked mini stocks. Okay.
Now for the action.
Well,
Mo action.
The running order, it was the completion of the mini stock feature was actually Ashton Hedges, Dave Steele, Christopher Mix was 3rd, Mike McLeod in the 3, and then Dylan Irving in the 11. Once those guys pulled off, the next class that came out was
the dwarfs,
the dwarf cars,
and it was kind of like a build up. The Hornets came out, everybody got excited. Then here come the mini stocks. They came out, everybody got more excited, and then the dwarfs hit the track, and it's like, oh my God!
It was like a nuclear explosion of sound, speed, and the entertainment.
Yep.
And this one.
And when we say door handle to door handle, I don't know if you could call it that.
I don't know, and I'm not being crazy when I don't know how we didn't see multiple cars, given that they're open wheel, upside down. That these guys were so close.
Thank God for Nerf bars.
The talent in this field of my goodness, this is when things started getting crazy in the tower. Was when the dwarf car feature came on.
3 and 4 wide. 3 and 4 and 5 wide.
Yeah. Yeah, and there were, let's see here, in the dwarf car feature, I want to say, I know we had at least 4, but I thought 5 different leaders. I mean, it was just a guy would lead a lap, and then he'd go to 4th, and then you didn't know who was going to win this one. We had in this one Camden Robustelli, fast everywhere he unloads. Brock Peters, defending champions, multiple championships to his credit in the 2 car. Calvin Morton was there in the mix. Paul Haslow. Fred Hay was there. Chad Cardoza drove his tail off. There were so many fast. Josh King in that 09 car. I can go on and on and on.
Who was in the number 2 car, Corey?
Brock Peters.
Yeah. I watched him all. I love the color of that car. It just kind of went.
Well, it stands out.
Yeah.
It grabs your eye.
It explodes.
Much like that 10 car of Fred Hay. You always know where those cars are on the track.
He was my marker.
Yeah.
That was my marker.
I want to talk about in the heat race. Well, they had a dash, and Josh King in the 09, he collected the dash. He was flying early in the program. Heat 1, Camden Robustelli was your winner. Heat 2, Mason Lumen was there was 9 and 09. Lumen was in the 9. King was in the 09, and Josh King was your heat race winners. I knew when these guys rolled out, we didn't know who was going to win this one until it was over, because from what we saw in the heat races,
everybody was fast.
Everybody in every heat had a legitimate chance to win those. I mean, it was who could drive it in the corner deeper, who was willing to take a chance. And in the main event, that's where I started. That's when things started.
No holes barred.
The RPMs went up. Definitely the most exciting race of the night was the dwarf cars. From green to checkered, the entire race. Not that the others weren't, but these dwarf cars were on the edge of insanity. There was a lot of them. I think we had, what did we have, like 19? A bunch of them. But I want to say we had 5 different leaders in the first half of that race, and then we started settling it out, and a couple of guys started checking out. The caution came out, bunched them back up a couple times, and we ended up with a green-white checkered finish.
Well, there was a dirt pile in the third, turn 3. They kept catching them.
Right.
So it would make everybody switch it up.
Yeah, and it was costing guys spots. Yeah. 18. We had 18 on the track. That's a lot of horsepower in those little cars. And I thought at some point when these guys were going 4 wide into turn 1,
this is one behind them trying to make it 5.
This isn't going to be good. This is never good. And these guys got right through it like it was normal. That is not normal. Let me tell you, that is not normal for dwarf cars at any track to go that fast into a corner 4 wide, and nobody. The thought of lifting was never entertained at all.
If you want this, you're going to have to earn it.
And that was exactly it. The winner earned that one. It looked at first, in the first couple of laps, Fred Hay came on. That 10 car picked up multiple spots in the first 2 or 3 laps. Got his name. I mean, he's a former champion. He's very, very fast. He got in the mix. And then there was Josh King in the 09. There was Lumen in the 9. Robustelli in the 25. I mean, these guys were... It was like one of those exciting heavyweight title fights that just won't end. It's going to come to a draw.
They're all bloody, but nobody will fall.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of how this was. I mean, these guys were. It was one of the best races I've seen. I mean, I'm talking in any division in a long, long time. Robustelli, did you guys watch how he handled the last probably 6-7 laps of that field?
Oh yeah.
Smart. That wasn't luck. Sometimes you can get lucky. Not Saturday night, not with the dwarf cars. You had to drive, and man, that dude, the last time we talked with him was at another track in Victory Lane, and I thought to myself at that point, that's the best dwarf car race I've ever seen. And then Saturday night happened, and he won it again, and I said in Victory Lane, that was the best dwarf car race I've ever seen. Sandy, you're up in the tower with me. You're watching this race. What was going on in your mind?
Those cars are fast. Well,
I told the crowd Dynamite comes in small packages.
It was crazy.
I know.
I don't know that I've seen a 4 wide race coming through the corners 4 wide. I've never seen that.
And
dude, they were fast.
They were wide open.
Yeah,
wide open. Those things
they're not pacing, are they? They're not pacing.
No,
they're not like pace laps.
No. That was definitely the funnest race that night.
Well, she was into it, I know, because we kept trying to cross paths as I'm pacing back and forth, and
trying to not to run into each other because we're both
dancing
every other direction, trying to figure out what the heck's going to happen because it was so close.
It was awesome. I want to know. Well, you were on the inside, Nina. You were right there, trackside with these guys. I got to ask, do you get scared?
Not gonna lie, I was